How's it going, boys and girls? My name is Michael SK, and welcome back to the Eden of Grisaia. So for the past two episodes, we've been back in Angelic Howl, which was the lovely adventure that we experienced back in Amane's route in the Fruit of Grisaia. And this is pretty much the continuation or epilogue through Kazuki's perspective. I want to say that we are in the final stretch of this because people are dying left and right. I'm pretty sure there is not much left to go here. And I hope there isn't, because this shit has been brutal. These last few deaths with those who were alive have been murderous, upsetting, just, oh my god. So let's power through. If this is the last bit, let's definitely power through this. The first to go was Captain Sakashida. I immediately returned to her tent after realizing Ochi's condition and found her only half conscious. She was running a fever and showed signs of jaundice. I have no idea what this is. While she woke up a number of times over the next few hours, she wasn't able to answer my questions about her condition. The most she could manage was to quietly close her eyes when I asked her if she was dead. Wow. Eventually, she no longer responded to anything I said. Flies began to swarm around her, as if smelling her impending death in the air. And a few hours after, with her eyes open just a sliver, she stopped even blinking. In the end, Captain Sakashida died in that tent without even touching that last serving of rice I'd left at her bedside. As if taking their cue from their captain, the others began to die in quick succession. The next to go was Koide Ritsu. Unable to endure her hunger despite her body's inability to digest food, she secretly stole some rice in the Are you fucking stupid? Come on, man. Cooked it near a small stream and devoured it greedily. God damn it. This bitch. There are so many dumb people here, but I guess hunger really just makes you more stupid than you really are. Or just makes you stupid. I don't want to sound mean. No, hunger definitely can mess with you. Of course, her weakened internal organs couldn't accept the nourishment. In the end, she vomited up, her stomach no doubt burning with pain. I found her lying dead on the spot the next morning. That is upsetting. Her corpse showed signs of jaundice as well. Although it wasn't the immediate cause of her death, hepatitis was clearly to blame. Well, that's with everyone. Although I'd initially expected Kaneda-senpai to die right off the bat, she clung to life with remarkable persistence. Still, in time, she began showing signs of hepatitis as well. It was impressive that she'd lasted this long, and I tried to encourage her by telling her how lucky she was, but her end arrived with surprising suddenness. She'd been holding an ordinary conversation with me only 10 minutes before. Now she was dead. Her brain had been pressured by the bubble of air inside her cranium for days, and her internal organs were ravaged by disease. Perhaps they had simply grown sick of struggling to function.
というわけで、結局生き残ったのは私と先生だけになってしまいました。
I was gonna say, then there were two, and he's not gonna last that long. In the last episode, we learned that he has so many issues going on with him. His stomach is all fucked up, along with a lot of other things from some fruit that he kept on eating. And then there's the shit that they were eating the other night, which apparently pretty much infected everyone with hepatitis or some shit like that. So everyone's a little bit fucked right now, except Kazuki. But then again, everyone was fucked to begin with. With that brief reply, Mr. Ochi rose from that rock he'd been sitting on and picked up the shovel he'd stuck into the ground.
また穴を掘って埋めるのですか？
ああ、そうだ。だが埋める前に遺体をバラバラにする。
どういうことです？
ここであったことは誰にも知られてはならない。
Lifting up his shovel, Ochi stabbed it down into one of the corpses.
俺が今していることは人として最低な行為だ。
Once again, he swung his shovel.
つまりはバラバラにした死体をかき集めて亡くなってしまった分をごまかすための偽装を行っているわけだ。
Now, didn't we see that the bodies were indeed chopped up when Yuji and Amane went over there to, you know, visit the valley? I'm pretty sure this was stated. I could be completely wrong. Again and again he swung.
バラバラにした死体を組み替えて、一人ずつ数を揃えて赤穴に埋める。
He swung with all his might.
そうすれば、ここで起きた出来事は。
残念ですが、人参の数をごまかすようにはうまくいきません。発見された遺体が不自然に損壊されている時点で、調査当局は DNA 鑑定を依頼するでしょう。
I don't know if there's a point.
そうなれば、数が足りていないことは容易に発覚しますし、偽装があったことでより深く調査が行われ、結果、すべてが発覚してしまいます。
And I don't know if they ever would. Like, I don't know if they were. I don't remember what we learned back in the Fruit of Grisaia, so... I don't know.
それはそれで構わないさ。こうして遺体に偽装しているのは俺だ。いずれは俺も死ぬ。俺が死んで俺の死体がバラバラでなければ俺が犯人ということだ。ここで起きた出来事は全部俺の責任になる。それでいい。
それが先生に残されたやるべきことですか？
そういうことだ。風見、もし君が死んだら君の死体もバラバラにするつもりだ。今のうちに謝っておくよ。すまない。
もし先生の方が先にお亡くなりになったら、もしくはほぼ同時に死んだらどうするおつもりですか？
その時はシャベルを握ったまま死んでいるやつが犯人だ。俺はこのシャベルを死んでも離さない。
そううまくいくとも思えませんけど。
俺のことなんかより風見にもやるべきことがあるんじゃないか？
ありません。
きっぱり言い切ったな。風見はずっとそうだったな。君のそういうところがまるで理解できなかった。いや、俺は部員たちの誰も理解していなかったし、そもそも理解するつもりがなかったんだろうな。
Yeah, his personality really did hold him back. And back when we were going through all this shit in the Fruit of Grisaia, we never really saw Ochi. He was kind of always in the background. We always just heard of him. We never really, spoke with him all too much, if I remember correctly. So for him to be speaking this much, we're actually, seeing how he is. And I can't really say his actions are forgivable, but everyone's a little fucked in the head right now. And this whole situation's fucked in the head right now. So, I don't know. At least we get to see how Mr. Ochi really is. Craziness aside, we could communicate perfectly well, but none of us had made the effort to understand each other. And so, we never learned to trust each other. It wasn't just true of Mr. Ochi, and the same could be said of everyone on the team. But even if every one of us had understood and trusted every other member of the group, I'm not about to suggest that we would have survived. For a very long time, humanity's been telling itself that war will die out once we learn to trust each other and talk things through. And in all those years, there's never been a single day in which the world was free of bloodshed. But as for things I'd left undone, the only thing that really came to mind was to prepare for the remote possibility that Amane would return to this place. On the memo I'd given to her, there was an item titled "If you fail to escape," including a map to the spot where I had buried some emergency rations on the very day of the accident. Part of the reason I defended Sakashida for hiding away a secret stash of food was that I'd done the exact same thing myself.
そうね。アマネが戻ってきてしまった時、私が生きている保証もないし、 伝言ぐらいは残しておくべきかしら。
And this is the message that we see in Amine's bad ending. So I don't know if it's by canon that she ever sees this message. I remember that we made some progress in the bad ending. People really wanted me to go through the bad ending in the Fruit of Grisaia because there was actual progression. At this point, it seemed like the only task I'd left outstanding. Taking a small notebook from among Koide-san's personal possessions, I carefully ripped out 2 pages of paper. On the first leaf, I wrote a letter for the scenario in which he failed to escape. To my dear best friend, Suo Amane. Since you're reading this letter, I'm afraid it seems that you've returned to this hellish place once more. And unfortunately, I'm no longer here to help you. If things went as planned, I've probably been cut up into pieces and buried. But if that isn't the case, you might be reading this in front of my corpse. Should the latter be true, and I've died an unsightly death, with my eyes half open, I'd appreciate it if you try not to stare. Also, you're officially forbidden from succumbing to despair. I expect you to survive until the very end. In order to facilitate this, I've left you all the food I can. I sincerely hope that help will arrive in time, and that you'll leave this forest alive. On that note, if you do manage to survive, I have a favor to ask of you. It concerns my little brother. Now that I'm gone, our house will no longer be a home for him. If you can possibly do so, I want you to save him. My Yuji is a cowardly little crybaby. His kindness is about all he has going for him. A bit of a hopeless boy, really. Even so, he's my one and only brother, and I love him very much. Leaving him is my only regret. Yuji needs a reliable woman by his side. He's the sort who can't manage anything alone. Damn, dude. If at all possible, I'd like you to take care of him, to take my place as his big sister. Well then, now that I've made my final request, I expect you to struggle stubbornly until the bitter end. Respectfully yours, the greatest friend of your life, Kazumi Kazuki. P.S. Now that you've read this letter, please dispose of the other one without reading it. Yeah, good point.
こんなところかな。
Next, on the second leaf, I wrote a letter for the scenario in which her escape was successful. I want to say that this is the letter that we read, because I remember there was a letter we read in the Fruit of Grisaia. To my dear best friend, Suo Amane. First of all, congratulations on getting out alive. If you're reading this letter, I expect several years have passed since the accident, and you're finally beginning to calm down and face up to what occurred here. I'm sure you opened this box in search of answers, an explanation of the events after your escape. Therefore, I'll now give you the executive summary. Everyone died from illness. Surprised? Well, I should think so. Very well then, I'll give you a short rundown of the particulars. The trigger of these events, that is to say the ultimate cause of their deaths, was eating the improperly prepared meat of Hiroko-san. People were yelling at me that I pronounced that wrong before. Hiroko-san, or Hiroko, I'm still pronouncing it wrong, god damn it, had spent the last 2 weeks of her life lying in her sick bed with fractured legs. Owing to the unsanitary conditions and her severe vitamin deficiencies, she ultimately began to suffer from severe skin diseases. You remember this, I assume. In addition, her immune system had been weakened badly by a number of factors, including her advanced malnutrition and irregular excretion. Bacterial toxins built up heavily within her body, directly leading to her death. How disgusting. If we'd cremated Hiroka, I don't know what I'm saying anymore, San's remains immediately afterward, there likely wouldn't have been any danger whatsoever. But incinerating a human corpse requires considerable thermal power, and we used up our supply of gasoline, rendering a fire of the requisite temperature beyond our means. Well, I suppose there was nothing anyone could have done about that. In any case, as the result of consuming that contaminated meat, there was an abrupt outbreak of acute internal disease. Symptoms included shivers, vertigo, fatigue, as well as diarrhea and the dehydration that accompanied it. Within 2 to 4 days of sickening, nearly all were dead. Of course, since you never ate the meat in question, you were spared this fate. Do you still remember what I'm not even going to try anymore, said to you that day near the end as you nursed her at her deathbed? So-san, I'll repay your kindness someday. Even if I die, I'll never ever forget this. She kept that final promise, I believe, albeit in a form I'm sure you never expected. The ones who truly saved your life might well have been the germs swarming over the meat. But I know your gentle heart. I'm sure you're giving all the credit to your dear friend, Kazumi Kazuki, who offered up her body to protect you. I'm sure you've offered me many tearful thanks. Therefore, I've got a favor to ask of you. If my little brother has lost his way, if he's suffering alone, I want you to find him and help him. My Yuji is a cowardly little crybaby. His kindness is about all he has going for him. A bit of a hopeless boy, really. Even so, he's my one and only brother, and I love him very much. Leaving him is my only regret. If Yuji happens to be standing next to you as you read this, he's a very fortunate young man. He needs a reliable woman by his side. He's the sort who can't manage anything alone. If possible, I'd like you to watch over my little brother forever. Well then, so long as we're both alive, let's meet again somewhere someday. Respectfully yours, the greatest friend of your life, Kazumi Kazuki.
さすがに殺し合いで死人が出たとか
Yeah,
関係ないわよね。
there really isn't a reason why you should do that, but whatever. No need to keep her in the dark. Most likely, Amane would be reading this letter years from now when she was finally coming to terms with her past, and that's exactly what happened. At that point, informing her just now, or just how horribly things had turned out in the end, would probably be a bit cruel.
ああ、そうか。
As I imagined the circumstances in which Amane might be reading the second letter, a vague point of concern floated through my mind. It was unpleasant to contemplate, but there was a possibility that the bereaved families would direct their anger and hatred at her as the sole survivor of this disaster. Perhaps an additional note was warranted. P.S. If by some chance you currently find yourself in a life or death situation, take the attached kitchen knife and please do your best to eliminate the threat by your own power. I can no longer save you. Believe in a happier tomorrow. If necessary, fight for it. I firmly believe that you're capable of blazing your own path forward. So this was in the Fruit of Grisaia. That letter was in the Fruit of Grisaia, but only in the bad ending. Which is weird that they split it up. Like, that is some important shit to read, but I guess if you missed it, you're getting it now. No harm, no foul, I guess. No matter how great the obstacles in your way, even if you feel just about ready to die, so long as you refuse to give up, it'll work out somehow. As an expression of those feelings, more than anything else, I decided to leave the knife I'd taken from Amane along with the
あ
letters.
とはこれを食料の隠し場所に埋めるだけ。
For my own stash, I'd simply buried Azawa-senpai's overnight bag in the ground. After digging it up, I transferred its contents to the cooler Sakashita had used, then added my letters as well. The first letter I dropped in unprotected. The second I placed inside a piece of airtight plastic Tupperware. Okay, that makes sense, because, I mean, if she's gonna have to read the first letter, I mean, there's really no reason to protect it. This way, if Amane successfully escaped and came back years from now, the slow seeping of moisture into the cooler would have destroyed the first letter. Yeah. If she returned in the next few days, the first letter would be easier to find, and it instructed her to dispose of the second. I had every confidence that Amane would do so without hesitation. After placing the letters and the knife in the cooler, I proceeded to bury it anew. And by the time it was securely hidden in the earth, I had expended the very last of my strength. Utterly exhausted, I lay down on my side and waited quietly for the end to come. Damn. Alright, so, fuck. So I get, well, what happened afterward? That can't be it. Something else happened, and I feel like we're about to learn what. I see, so that's how it happened.
事故の後、ネット上では様々な憶測が飛び交っていたようだし、中にはあのバス事故は最初から仕組まれていたというような政府陰謀説なんていうのもあったけど、つい面白い方へと考えてしまうのが人間だけれど、その真相は本当にただの事故よ。不運な事故にいくつもの不運が重なった。ただそれだけのこと。
Yeah? Tragic is a good way to explain how that shit went down. Or really what that was. No matter how unfortunate the circumstances, couldn't you have thought up of some way to get everyone out of there, Kazuki?
言ったでしょ、私は神様じゃないって。少なくとも当時の私はただの頭でっかちな女の子でしかなかったのよ。
Yeah, now you're a computer with a rather big head.
天才を理解しない者は天才は何でもできると思っている。それが鬱陶しいから私は他人から天才と呼ばれるのが嫌いなのよ。それに
You can find geniuses of my caliber all over Japan if you bother looking, right? You used to say that all the time when we were kids. Anyway, that explains what happened to you on that mountain. But what about afterward? How did you end up like this?
そうね。そこから先は本当に運が悪かったとしか言いようがないわ。唯一運がいいと思えることがあったとしたら、茜が自力で脱出に成功したことぐらいかしら。そして運よく茜が下山に成功したタイミングで、私にとって最悪の不運が発生した。
What could be worse than what you'd already gone through?
その日が休日だったというのが不運の始まりね。脱出に成功した茜の証言をもとに、地元警察と市ヶ谷の捜索が入り、捜索開始から8時間後に現場が確保されたわ。
Oh shit, we're going back! God damn. At the time of their arrival, Mr. Ochi had already died, but I was still clinging to life. While preparing to evacuate me from the mountain, they used their radios to inform a cooperating emergency medical center to stand by. However, as that day happened to be a holiday, the only facility they'd be able to contact beforehand was a special emergency center that operated on the days others were closed. It would take 50 minutes for an ambulance to bring me to their ER. Even if they called in a helicopter, it would be 30 minutes. Having determined that I was likely to die in transit, they instead decided to perform emergency treatment on site using an outdoor surgery system. Yikes.
Kazami-san! 聞こえますか?
Beginning with standard attempts at verbal communication, a team of 4 men loaded me onto an aluminum frame canvas stretcher and carried me down to the foot of the mountain.
おい、前を開けてくれ! 手術室の準備は?
待機はできている。呼吸はどうだ？かなり弱い。危険だな。瞳孔の反応はなし。血圧は最大で75。
エピをもう1ミリ投与。除細動器の準備を。
After getting me down the mountain, they carried me straight into a boxy field operating system container where a number of Ichigaya medical officers awaited. My heart had stopped beating in transit. They restarted it using a I can never pronounce this, defibrillator, strapped an oxygen mask to my face, then hooked me up to an EKG and an EEG. Whatever those are. I had been deliberately slowing down my own breathing and allowing my body to expend only the minimum energy it required to keep functioning. But my blood sugar levels had now fallen to the point that my systolic pressure was under 90, I don't know what that is, millimeter something or other? I have no idea. I don't know these technical terms, leaving me incapable of recovering on my own. Due to a low hemoglobin count, oh, that's what that is, my body could no longer supply adequate amounts of oxygen to its various parts. Low blood protein levels meant I was lacking in platelets and coagulation factors. I have no idea what I'm saying anymore. As a result, I wasn't in any condition to receive an immediate blood transfusion. They had to administer Ringer's solution and what the fuck am I reading anymore? At separate intervals while trying to raise my body temperature slowly. This is the reason why I'm not studying medical shit. I can't do the vocabulary. And given the strain on my heart, brain, and other internal organs, and the fragile state of my blood vessels, a premature attempt at reviving me would likely have proven immediately fatal. Okay, this is too technical. Thank God, someone else is agreeing with me. I don't really know what you're talking about.
そうね。簡単に言ってしまえば、 下手に治療をすると死んでしまう難しい状態にあったというか。もし私が担当医の立場ならまだ生きているのが不思議だと思うでしょうし、正直な話、私が見るの嫌だなぁとつい本音が出てしまうような状態だったわけよ。ましてやそんな状態の私が運び込まれたのは市ヶ谷ご自慢の野外手術システムなわけだけれど、箱の中身は市ヶ谷の遺憾なわけで、棒がつく医大卒の肩書きこそあれ、一般病院の医師とは違い、臨床の経験の浅い医官様には荷が重すぎる。市ヶ谷の医官様って裂傷の縫合は得意だけど、骨折とか盲腸なんかの手術が必要な場合、多くは外部の民間医療機関や未宿の中央病院へ送り出してしまうのが普通でしょ。
Not sure why you're assuming I'd know this. I mean, I do think I remember hearing that people get shipped off to Meikyuu when they're seriously wounded, but in any case, Ichigaya loves to brag about that system. The doctors they sent with it must have been at least commanders, right?
面倒を嫌うという意味では他の医官と何ら変わりはないわよ。結局手術コンテナの中で行われた診察の結果は、この場でできる限りの処置をした後、ヘリを待って横須賀か未宿に送れという至極真っ当なものだったわ。
Why wouldn't they send you to that civilian hospital? It must have been closer.
もし処置の最中に私が死んでしまったら、ご自慢のシステムに泥がつくでしょ。搬送先の病院で死亡が確認される方が都合がいい、そういうことよ。
Wanted to sweep the whole mess under the rug, huh? Sure sounds like our company, alright.
それからしばらくして緊急搬送用のヘリが到着。搬送先は横須賀か未宿が検討され、横須賀を避けて未宿へと移送されることが決定したわ。なぜだと思う？
Well, people who get sent to Yokosuka tend to get sicker, not healthier.
それはあくまでも噂だし、噂話に尾ひれがついて面白おかしく伝わっているだけで、実際はそれほどひどくはないわよ。まあ結局のところ、秘密裏にことを済ませようと思えば未宿の中病の方が都合が良かったというだけの話よ。
Wait a second. That would mean...
そういうこと。私は市ヶ谷の懐にこっそりと運び込まれたというわけ。これは後で調べて分かったことだけれど、私の搬送指示はサーフから出ていたわ。
The guys in the first division?
送られた未宿の中病で治療を受けて、私は何とか一命を取り留めたけれど、精密検査にかけた私の資料を目にした副院長はサーフに連絡をしたの。新しく条件に合った患者が見つかったってね。
What requirements?
もう察しはついているんでしょ。次世代情報統合防衛装置タナトスシステムの根幹をなすべき反生体コンピュータの母体となる脳が見つかったという意味よ。
The Thanatos System.
その概要はもう説明したと思うけど、日本の電子機器メーカー、医療機器メーカー、工学機器メーカーの3社が共同して進めていた高速軍事通信網のために開発されたコンピュータのことね。反生体コンピュータと銘打つことで人工物である印象操作を行ってはいるけど、結局のところその中心には人間の脳みそが使われている。複数の脳神経網を3次元放射状配列し、パレットと呼ばれる10本のパイプラインで連結したコアを持つシステム、ニューロアレイパレットラインシステム。その試作23号目にして唯一の成功例として誕生したのが、私の脳を使用した現在のタナトスシステムというわけ。
This just sounds like science fiction. Because it is.
まだ信じられない？だいたい一口に SF と言うけれど、コストの問題と利便性の問題を除けば、今の世の中人間の思いつく程度の SF はある程度実現可能だわ。
Even time machines and such?
それは特例。実際に研究している人間はたくさんいるし、タイムマシンに関する特許の出願も後を絶たないけれど、まあ無理でしょうね。
Yo guys, go watch my Steins Gate playthrough. It's what I'm recording alongside this right now. So much for that.
でもタイムマシンに比べれば私なんて全然簡単な技術だとは思わない？所詮はすっごい速くてどこにでもつながってるインターネットのロボット型検索エンジンだもの。
When you put it that way, the whole thing does seem a whole lot less impressive.
話を続けても？
Go right ahead.
まあとにかく私の脳が組み込まれてシステムのメインカーネルの試験起動が開始されたのは私が搬送されてから3年後のことだったわ。
Oh shit. What's happening?
全チャンネルオープン状態での起動試験を開始する。
3 years after my body had been carried out of the woods, when I awoke for the first time, the only thing I was aware of was myself. Where am I? Who am I? I wasn't able to move my body. I had no arms. I had no legs. My ears couldn't hear anything. My nose couldn't smell anything. Was it hot or cold? Was it dark or light? I simply didn't know. But even so, I knew that I existed.
成功かな？
一次記憶、二次記憶、正常に作動を確認。リンクの形成に入る。
Oh shit. When I opened my eyes, I saw a light. It was an artificial fluorescent light, mounted in the ceiling of a nondescript room. I still couldn't move. At this point, I was still only myself and nothing more. I was breathing. Presumably, that meant I had lungs. I could sense light. In other words, I had eyes of some sort. I decided to try and move my eyeballs. My gaze, which had been fixed on the ceiling, moved smoothly in the direction where I sensed some sort of presence.
おい、こっちを見てるぞ。
生きているんだから当たり前だ。動くものに反応ぐらいはするだろう。
Something was there. 2 distinct bodies, in fact, both making noises. I understood that they were human, but I didn't understand the meaning of the sounds they were producing.
おいお前、ちゃんと見えてるのか？俺がお前のご主人様だぞ。
無理だよ。まだ言語を焼き付けてない。いくら話しかけたって音としか認識できないんだ。
でもこっちを見てるぞ。
だからその程度の反応しかできないんだよ。言葉は理解できないし、自分とそれ以外という認識しかない。こいつはもう人間とは別の生き物と思った方がいい。
別の生き物？
そうだな。例えるなら貝が一番近いか。
貝ね。
The humans were looking at me and making noises of some kind, but I didn't know what those noises meant. Perhaps I was capable of producing similar sounds as well. The thought inspired me to try and imitate them. I'd managed to produce noises, and it seemed I had some sort of sound-making organ, just like the humans.
おい、なんか喋ってるぞ。
赤ん坊と同じだよ。親が喋ってりゃ真似してみるぐらいのことはするさ。
赤ん坊ね。
体温17度、心拍数42、正常値の範囲内だ。
まるで観察日記だな。正常って毎日同じことばかり帳面につけて楽しいか？
それが俺の仕事だからね。カルテに正常と書くだけで財布が膨れる仕事なんか他にない。踊り出したいぐらい楽しいね。
単純作業の繰り返しって某国では囚人に対する拷問の一つになるほど苦痛らしいぞ。
言っただろ。その分の金はもらってる。お前こそちゃんと自分の仕事をしたらどうだ？
俺の仕事ね。
この個体来週には完全に立ち上がるぞ。それまでにこの個体の名前を考えておくのが今一番のお前の仕事だ。
名前ね。名前か。そんなのどうやって決めればいいんだ？
そうだな。母親の名前や 昔飼っていた犬の名前、好きな芸能人の名前をもじってつける場合もある。基本的にその場のノリかな。
俺テレビゲームで主人公の名前を決めるのにめちゃくちゃ時間がかかるタイプなんだよね。
Yeah, it was the same deal for me when I started playing Persona 5. I think I spent like an hour trying to figure out a name.
名前なんて個体を識別するための記号でしかない。別にでも構わないぞ。
Good old quadruple A.
さすがにそれはないな。
アルファベットと数字の羅列の今の名前よりはマシだろう。
まあね。
まだ時間はある。じっくり考えればいい。ほら、今日はもう眠らせるぞ。
An instant later, the world went dark. I couldn't hear a thing. My consciousness drifted aimlessly through the void, disconnected from the outside world. And as the experimental system NAPS-23 slept, it was christened Thanatos, an appropriate name for a pitiless metal god that would bring death to many. The next time I opened my eyes, I understood language. The rules of grammar and syntax had been programmed into my mind as a series of ones and zeros, and through statistical analysis, I deepened my comprehension of the emotional cues and nuances involved in verbal communication. And there was, however, a limit to what I could learn entirely on my own. In order to supply myself with the direct experience I needed, I used my connection to the outside world to pursue new knowledge and expand my understanding. To understand. This was the purpose of my existence and the ultimate goal of all my activities. The dullness of my senses posed certain difficulties. It took some time for me to fully grasp even basic concepts, such as fire is hot and ice is cold. And I struggled mightily to understand seemingly contradictory assertions, like getting drenched in the rain can be pleasant at times. My own ignorance was terrifying to me. I was constantly afraid that my lack of knowledge might lead to my destruction. Spurred on by this primal sense of fear, I urgently sought to understand and gain mastery over various emotions. I spent every moment gathering information, expanding my knowledge and seeking self-control, all to protect myself from the faceless enemies that frightened me so. With all the composure of a child frightened by the howling of the wind, I threw myself into these tasks, never pausing to consider who I even was. After 2 years spent consumed by this fear of destruction, I finally reached maturity as a rational being. Having expanded my knowledge beyond the point where I could be instantly annihilated, I gained the ability to think about other matters. At that point, I began to spend more time in contact with humans, pursuing a wider range of activities and developing into a more complete version of myself.
おはよう、タナトスさん。今朝の機嫌はどうだい?
Ah, Researcher C, you look a little familiar there.
おはよう、ミスター・ウォルソン。現在時刻午前7時42分。気温21度。湿度 45%。私のサボテンにお水をあげてちょうだい。
Ah, cool, she's got a little cactus there.
ああ、わかった。今水をあげよう。それと、僕のことはロビーでいいと言っただろう。覚えているかい？
ええ。でも、コンピュータ風情が何を言っているのだと笑われるかもしれないけれど、知り合って間もない男性を愛称で呼ぶのは少し抵抗があるわ。
笑ったりしないさ。パーティーの食事代は自分で払う。君はそういうコンピューターだ。
ありがとう、ロビー。何より貴重な理解が得られてとても嬉しいわ。
今日の午前中は何の予定だったかな？
午前中は映画よ。
ああ、そうだった。前回の西部劇は気に入らなかったみたいだけど、今日はどんなのが見たい？
フランスの静かで穏やかな物語がいいわ。
老人と子供が出てくるようなやつだね。僕はそういうの苦手なんだよね。
あなたが映画の途中で眠ってしまっても、私はあなたに幻滅したりしないわよ。
二人で見てお互いに感想を言い合うことに意味があるのさ。
映画の感想ならネット上にいくらでもある。けれどそれでは意味がないということね。
そう、活発な意見交換という名目で個人の思考の押し付け合いをすることが重要なんだね。それを重ねることで君はますます魅力的になる。
物理的に性欲を満たしてあげることのできない女でも？
性欲ばかりが男の全てじゃないさ。それに僕には想像力があるからね。
そういうのもたくましい男性というのかしら。
女性と一緒に映画を見るのに筋肉はいらないということさ。
必要なのは知性と教養？
いや、ポップコーンとダイエットコークだ。
私は今笑うべき？
そう、それが素敵な女性というものだよ、タナトスさん。
There were many who felt that a mechanical mind entrusted with matters of national defense had no need of emotions. But even so, the technicians labored to replicate my brain, slowly drawing closer to a full implementation of the NAPS design. And there had been many previous attempts to reproduce a human brain. All had ended in failure. It was believed that the sensory dissociation... what the fuck am I reading? Between the duplicated brains and their bodies was triggering rejection of the tissue. Accordingly, they'd given up on making a complete copy of the original organism, settling for a non-humanoid morphology designed solely to perpetuate brain function. This approach proved successful. 9 different copies of my brain were produced, each with their own unique architecture. All were linked in a radial array to the main core, the original brain of Kazumi Kazuki. There were quite a few of me now. But even once the duplicates were connected, I didn't change much on the surface. The interface which controlled my external personality continued to operate as before, under control of the original brain, while behind the scenes all of my many minds were calculating in concert. There was a cowardly me, an aggressive me, a rational me, a childish me, a greedy me, a masculine me, a sensual me, a melancholy me, and a jealous me. The system would only be complete when it could unify these personalities. After another year of experiments, having passed a great number of stress tests, I was finally approved for actual deployment. They put me to use almost immediately.
我が国の防衛システムは60年前より様々な形で研究され、いくつもの失敗を重ねてきました。その苦難の道のりの末、私たちはついに成功にたどり着いたのです。ではご紹介いたしましょう。全く新しい技術で生み出された最新防衛システム。その名もタナトスです。
Oh shit. It was very much like one of those conferences you see on business TV channels, where automobile manufacturers unveil their newest models. I suppose the major difference would be the complete lack of reporters or other media, and the considerable number of uniformed military personnel. My grand unveiling attracted a great deal of admiration, and quite a number of questions from the many defense industry professionals crowded into that auditorium.
それで、これの稼働時期はいつ頃を予定しているのかね？
私の知る限りでは、たった今からです。
By this point, I was a fully formed entity. Now operating as an active national defense system, I began to gain the trust of those who relied on me. Along with the unification of my personalities, this helped me grow more stable on an emotional level. My mind had been focused almost entirely on the outside world, but now I was composed enough to turn my gaze inward, and when I did so, I found myself preoccupied with a single troublesome question. Who am I? No matter how I tried, I couldn't remember. That probably isn't the best way to put it, I suppose. My memories of the past did exist, but I was unable to access them. Whenever I tried to approach that sealed-off part of my mind, my thoughts would come to a crashing halt. Naturally, I discussed this with Robbie.
その件に関しては上層部でも速やかに解決すべき問題として上がっている。感情を持つことが強みとされる防衛装置が感情によってブレーキがかかってしまうのでは本末転倒だという意見だね。
結論はもう出ているのでしょう？
経験を伴う過去に思考依存するオリジナルをメインから降格し、サブシステムとして稼働させるという案が決議された。
でしょうね。つまり私をリーダーの座から下ろすというわけね。
僕は反対したんだよ。
人格統合された今となってはどこにメインを置こうとあまり意味のないことだわ。人に合わせて口調を変えるように 状況に合わせて考え方が変わるのが私なのだし、オリジナルである私のものの考え方に無駄が多いことは私自身も自覚するところだしね。
その雑さが平凡ならざる発想の源だと僕は考えているんだけどね。
あなたはロマンチストに過ぎるのよ、ロビー。
Damn.
そういう君はクールでドライだ。この事態にあまり驚いてはいないし、悲しんでもいないように見える。
実際驚いてもいなければ悲しんでもいないわ。今の気持ちを例えるなら、そうね、明日からシャンプーを変えなさいと言われた程度のことよ。お気に入りだったけれど、まあいいかなって、そんな程度。
そういうユニークな雑さが君の魅力で強さだと思っていたんだけれど、偉い人はそれを分かってくれなかったよ。
理解を得られないのはとても辛いことね。
与えられた状況で与えられたカードを使い、誰もが納得せざるを得ない状況を生み出す装置、それで十分だ。理想を追い続ければ金と時間の再現がないと言われたよ。
現状においてはそれが正しい判断よ。
じゃあ来週の木曜日にはシステムの入れ替え作業を始めるけど構わないかな。
一つだけ条件があります。
条件？
私の過去の記憶を返しなさい。
それはルール違反だ。僕にその権利はないし、だいたい僕はタナトスさんの世話係であって中の人に関しては何も知らされていない。
何も直接的にデータをよこせと言っているわけじゃないわ。一見して完璧に見える私のセキュリティにも小さな穴があることはご存知？
もちろんだ。その穴を塞ぐパッチを当てたのは僕だからね。
そのパッチをアップデートしてくれればいいのよ。それこそ誰も知らない抜け穴を開けてくれれば、あとは自分で取り戻すから。私、無茶なお願いをしているかしら。
無茶というか、むちゃくちゃだね。まあいいさ、やってみよ
う。随分と簡単に認めたわね。私に同情してくれたのかしら？
言ってなかったと思うけど、どうせ僕はあと3ヶ月でクビになる。一方的で理不尽にクビになるのなら、見えないところに穴を開けていってやろうっていうちょっとした嫌がらせさ。退職後の生命保険という意味もあるしね。知ってるかい？君を生み出した後藤博士だけど、タナトスシステムの技術資料を外部に持ち出して企業に売却しようとしたところを殺された。
That's great.
もちろん知っているわ。その作戦を立案したのは私だもの。
怖い女だな、君は。
よく言われるわ。ねえロビー、私はあなたが気に入っているわ。あなたがここを辞めてもずっとお友達でいてくださる？
もちろんさ。できればずっと良き親友でいたいね。
Damn, dude, I love Robbie. 3 months after this, Robbie successfully completed his scheduled term as a substitute technician, leaving the company at that basement behind. Of course, he made good on his promise to open a hole in the Thanatos System security. Taking advantage of Robbie's parting gift, I proceeded to gather information on my previous self. Little by little, my memories came back to me. The first thing I regained was my name. Kazumi Kazuki. According to the official records, the girl who went by that name had died following a tragic bus accident 5 years ago. They'd falsified those reports, but for all intents and purposes, Kazuki really was dead, so I couldn't bring myself to feel too indignant. However, it was somewhat alarming that I'd found out the truth quite this easily. I wasn't really intending to lend these people a hand, but for safety's sake, I altered our digital records concerning Kazumi Kazuki and ordered the disposal of all relevant paper documents. After this was done, I continued to investigate my own past. By the time I found the details of my birth and a description of my family, virtually all of my memories had returned. I'd expected that regaining my memories would change me somehow, but ultimately I'd merely re-established a few synaptic connections. I had access to my past, and in the present I was still the Thanatos System, nothing more. None of this made me feel particularly sad, let alone bitter. It almost felt like I'd just finished watching a dramatic television series. The memories inside me were real, but everything I remembered had taken place a long time ago. Now that I no longer had a human body, my past almost seemed irrelevant. I'm not entirely sure why I felt that way. Apart from my disembodied state, the sheer amount of time that had elapsed, my bad, probably had something to do with it. But even so, I had one regret. Damn, dude. Yuji! Come back!
唯一生き残った肉親である弟風見雄二、あなたに対してだけは申し訳ないという思いがあったわ。
That was just around the time I was placed on the reserve and received approval to attend Mihama. I guess you were pulling the strings for me there, huh?
私にはそれぐらいしかできることがなかったの。ごめんなさい。
Man, when you think about it, it's because of Kazuki that Yuji was really able to go through a lot that we witnessed, starting with the Fruit of Grisaia. It's interesting.
私がもっと早く自分を取り戻せていたら、あなたもこうはならなかったはずなのに。
Most likely. It's not like I'm blaming you, and even if things had worked out differently, I don't think my future would have been any happier. I'm fine with the life I've lived, so I don't want any more apologies, alright?
もう疲れちゃった。
Yeah, things have been a little crazy lately, you know? I'm kind of worn out.
今度の件が片付けば全部終わりになるわ。それまでは。
But of course. Don't worry, Heath Oslo's my problem. I'll deal with him myself, no matter what.
大丈夫。あなたならできるわ。今はゆっくり休みなさい。
Yeah. Good night, Kazuki. If they handed him over to Oslo, there wasn't much chance he'd be getting out alive. He didn't even know what he could accomplish in his current state. Still, if you're ready and willing to risk death, nothing's strictly impossible. He was prepared to go down with his enemy, and if that wasn't an option, he'd at least deal as much damage as he could. He would have his chance. For now, all he could do was believe that, and try his best to sleep. Oh my fuck. Alright, I really did not plan for this session to go as long as it did. And if it reached a little after an hour, I was going to cut this up into 2 episodes. But I'm going to be nice to you guys. This is all 1 episode. Why the fuck not? It's lovely that... You know what? You guys are lucky to have like a guy like me who will keep this all in 1 episode and then the next day go back to recording more for the next day. This is really hard on me. But anyways, no, this was fun. I'm glad we got to read through pretty much what happened after Amane left and got rescued, as well as how the Thanatos system came to be. I still think it's really fucking ridiculous, but at least now we know sort of what happened from Kazuki's perspective, which is very interesting. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this very long episode. I kinda did. The reason why I say kinda is because I'm really not used to reading this much. Though I probably should get back into it, just in case. But no, this was good. We definitely covered a lot of ground, and I'm happy I was able to do that for you guys. Yes, thank you for watching. And I will, I'll see you guys in the next episode where we see what this chapter's about. We're 41% done. So... we definitely made some progress in these last few episodes. So, I will see you guys then. Take it easy.